Alright, what is up YouTube? Welcome to the first video of the prep series, which I don't have a name for it yet, but I will think of something kind of catchy or somewhat cringy as well. So today is Sunday, so it's actually still technically week 1 of prep, so that's why I'm getting this video recorded now, because I am going to do weekly videos on prep. Today is Sunday, so it's an upper body day. This is meal number 2, which is pre-workout. It's 100 grams of cream of rice, 30 grams of whey and 100 grams of raspberries, 2 grams of salt also. This isn't going to be a full day of eating, so that's probably the only meal you're going to see today. But we're going to bring you through the session. I might do a slight bit of a voiceover, talk you through it. We're also going to do a bit of posing at the end as well, so you can see kind of where I'm at after week number 1. I'm down 2 kilos, or over 2 kilos. I'm down 2.3 kilos the last 6 days. So yeah, bit of a drop at the start, which was expected because there's a lot of water retention and a lot of body fat. So probably only have about another 20 odd kilos to lose, but we'll take it one kilo at a time. So I'm gonna eat this and then we'll just catch up with you in the gym. Alright, so time for pre-workout. Come in, show them the press. That bit is a bit messy, but this is what we're working with. So that is only for leg day and density day, so not today. So we're probably going to go for some pumpage and some where is she? Biden. So that's going to be the stack for today. Yeah, get them close-up angles. Not of me. So also, what I do have is an intro workout as well. So sustain pina colada flavour. It's like a full operation. 30 grams of this every session, which is 25 gram carb, and that is something that I am going to keep in for as long as possible, really, throughout prep, because training performance is obviously the most important thing. And if I need to have 25 gram of carb every session and not have it with my meals, I'm going to take that because it does help with your sessions, keep you going, especially longer days, like your pull days and your leg days and stuff like that. So yeah, just gotta shake it all up. And we're gonna head down to Ryan's house now for the ritual pre-workout meet-up. Yo! Right, so people, just going to run you through the training segment of this vlog. I'm going to do a bit of a voiceover here, run you through kind of my current setup training. So this was my upper body day, which falls on a Sunday, and then I'm just going to kind of run through a bit of posing like this at the end. As you can see, I'm starting off here with a single arm cuffed pullover. Now this actually isn't in my training program, it's just a movement I do prior to my pull downs or prior to my lat work, just more so as an activation. I still take it all the way to failure, still don't leave any reps in the tank there, but it isn't something that I actually track. It's just something I do prior to my lat work, prior to my main work, just to kind of get things firing. You can see the way I was doing that there as well was actually across the body, my palm facing the ceiling. I find it's just a much better connection on that if you can connect with it properly, okay, or if you can set it up properly. Then move on to my single arm lat pull down plate loaded, okay, so this is the Atlantis. Now lots of plate loaded pull downs are absolutely wank, to be honest, okay, but this one is actually quite nice. Now you can see I have a little kind of cushion or a little yoga block in between where I am and where the chest pad is, just aligns everything a lot better. If I was to bring myself straight into the chest pad without that yoga block, it would almost turn into like an upper back kind of pull down, which isn't really what we're trying to do here. So I'm able to load this pretty heavily, just dragging my elbow down to my hip. I see a lot of machines like these at home and people doing them both arms at a time or doing this dual. I really wouldn't. I think if you want to align everything correctly, you really need to go one arm at a time with these guys and just kind of slot yourself over to whatever side you're working, crunch down onto the lat and drive the elbow down to hip, okay? So we did 3 sets there originally on that pull down. We're then on to a single arm cable row chest support with a bench. Again, I'm doing 3 sets here. So on this upper day, I start with my pull movements, as I don't really have a a singular pull workout throughout my split, as my other pull day is like a density day, so there's a lot of volume and fatigue already from legs. So we do have my pull movements first on this day, where we have 3 sets of each, so 6 sets on lats alone on this day, okay? Now with this as well, it's a movement that I have to correct the whole time for clients. Same with a lat pull down. I think targeting the lats is something that people really struggle with, but once they get it right once it clicks, then you know straight away that you're onto a winner, because that sensation or that contraction you get when you correctly train your lats, it's different than anything you've ever been doing before. So crunch down to the side that you're working, shoulder back and down, and elbow scraping down to the hip, okay? We then went on to do some cable lateral raises, cuff cable here. So we have 2 sets here with a drop set. For me, I believe that's probably my preferred choice of lateral, is a cable lateral with a cuff. I think it definitely trumps a dumbbell for sure. The Prime lateral machine is lovely. I do use that on other days, but I think if I had to choose one that anyone can do, no matter what gym you're in, it's going to be a cuff lateral, okay? Whether that is standing or lying down. So we have one working set here, then we have a second working set where I do a quick drop set. I'm doing here as well is I'm doing a few partials towards the back end of the set, which is something I actually don't mind doing. It's something I do with nearly all my laterals, or even some of my arm work as well. When I'm finished and I can't get it into that shortened range, it's just partial reps. Sometimes I track these, sometimes I don't. To be honest, I kind of go off how I'm feeling when it comes to partials. Then we're on to our pressing, okay? So I press 3 times a week. I have a push day on Tuesday, I have another push day on Friday, and then I press again on my upper day on Sunday. So I have a lot of pressing volume across the week. I believe I was actually plus 3 reps today, which was great, coming back after Mexico and kind of a bit of fatigue coming from there. But for this, all I'm really thinking is shoulders back and down, tuck them elbows and driving up, okay? You can see here Mark comes in to spot me towards the end as well. 1 or 2 grinders, but as a whole, really good set, and quite pleased with the progressions I've been taking on my pressing movements lately. To be honest, it's one of them, probably one of my most improved areas, is my pressing strength. So as you can see on this press, I do have a little green band that is kicking in there towards the bottom end of the rep in that lengthened range. As I said, I'm pressing almost 3 times, or I am pressing 3 times across the week, Tuesdays, Fridays and Sundays. So there is obviously a lot of fatigue that is accumulated with that, and I do want to make sure that I'm ready to press again on Tuesday, okay? So with that, it does help me kind of get up out of the hole, but it keeps my shoulders and my elbows and everything that bit more healthy as well, and ready to press again for Tuesday, okay? Then we have the back off set here. So top set was 120, back off was 100, and I believe again I was actually up weight on this, 2.5 kilos, and I matched reps on this one, okay? Onto our reverse pec deck. So I have this in cam or setting number 5 on the Prime machine, which is heavier in the lengthened range, drops off then coming back into the shortened range. As a whole, sorry, I'm just looking at my hair there. My hair looks pretty majestic from the back, and I also don't have a bald spot, which you might think I do there, but it's just the way my crown sits and the way my hair disperses. My barber promised me that back home. I know he's probably watching as well, so Liam, if you're watching this, that was you. Then on to bicep curl, so preacher curl here. We have arm work in every session at the moment, bar legs, okay? So I'm training arms 4 times across the week. I was doing it prior to every session, and I'm still doing it prior to the majority of my sessions, but on my Sunday I do tag them in at the end. So I do 3 sets biceps, and I was doing 3 sets triceps, but I did take that out as I felt as though it was affecting my overall pressing strength across the week, and I already have a hell of a lot of tricep work in there. So we did 3 sets biceps here. Then on to a bit of posing. So I am definitely not on center here with the camera. I probably could have set that up a bit better. We can kind of see how I'm looking. I believe I was 103.2 or 3 the morning of this video. Definitely a hell of a lot of weight yet to come off. Posing has improved. Lots of tips from Jim as well, especially from like the lower half, just kind of where to kind of point my feet and how to make that illusion a bit better in terms of kind of smaller waist and wider frame from the bottom, or a bit more weight in the bottom. But as a whole, happy enough with this composition for the body weight that I'm at, 103, and for me that's only 2 kilos off peak body weight, you know what I mean? So I'm still very much up there at the upper ends. I'm really excited to see how I look when we come down, when I take about 10 kilos off. When I get to even kind of 93 to 95, within that range, I'll be really excited to see kind of where I look from there. And in my head, I probably have about 23 kilos from losing here, so I believe I'm probably aiming for around 80 kilos, and probably even below it if I'm to fucking peel absolutely every layer of body fat off me, which is the goal. So that is my current upper day session and week 1 of prep wrapped up. Relatively smooth start, to be honest. Okay, we pulled off, I think it was 2 kilos in the first like 2-3 days, and then we floated around the 103 mark for 6 days, but then yesterday we saw a nice little drop down to 102.6, and I pretty much held that again this morning. When it comes to my expectations for this prep, it's the same as anyone's expectations really for their first prep. It's just to go out there and do the do. I am very much realistic with it. I'm not going to go out and say I'm going to win a fucking pro card, but I'm also going out there to not come anywhere but first, to a certain degree. I'm going out there to win. Whatever happens, happens. But I'm not going to go out there just to make up numbers. A lot of it about this year for me is just about getting experience. It's about, you know, going through it, walking the walk to a certain degree, being able to bring my clients through it as well. This year I have 3 clients who will be stepping on stage, so it is a massive year for me as a bodybuilder, but also as a coach of bodybuilders. So it is going to be definitely a cornerstone in my own journey, I believe, and in my own career. And I know that if I can get inside out conditioned, at least I have that. That's down to me. The size that I have is what I'm kind of left with to a certain degree at this stage. We can regroup at the end of the prep, we can see what needs work, but right now it's kind of a case of just getting absolutely peeled, and you know, you're not going to get marked down on condition. I believe when we do come to the end of the prep, we will see kind of what needs work, where I need to focus on. There'll be another long off season, and then, you know, the year or my next time going out competing, I'll have better kind of understanding of what I should be expected of myself. But right now I'm just going to go out there. My only competition is me, in my eyes, okay, and if I can be the best version I can be, you know, I can't beat anyone else, only myself, and if I beat myself, I probably have a good chance of beating a lot of other lads, because I know that the work I put in will outshine their, you know, their genetic starting point or whatever they might have ahead of me, because I know I will outwork. So that's all I'm really focused on now at the moment. Everything else is out of my hand. I'm just going to control controllables, going to go out and I'm going to enjoy it, because at the end of the day, it's supposed to be fun. We wouldn't be doing it otherwise. And that's it. I'm sure you'll follow along from the journey, and you'll get to see every step of the way. So this is the first episode of the prep wrapped up, week 1. I still haven't decided on the name for the series, so once it's posted you'll see. But please do like, subscribe, comment, all that YouTuber shit if you want to stay in touch, if you want to keep up to date. If you have liked it, lads, like, subscribe, comment, share, all that kind of crack, all that YouTuber shit. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.